going on, guys? This is Dave and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're doing Steve Bull as Wolverhampton Wanderers manager. Now it is something a little bit different. We did Sir Alex Ferguson back at Manchester United recently, and today I thought I'm going to start a series of different experiments where we see old club legends back at their old clubs as managers. So such as Louis van Gaal back at Ajax, as he did so well, Mourinho back at Porto. But what I want to do is basically every Premier League club, every Championship club, maybe a couple of foreign clubs and maybe even lower league teams. So if you have any clubs that you support where you'd like to see an ex-player or a manager that is still alive back at the club, please do let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see if I'm going to do a video on it. But today we've got the Wolves club record goal scorer Steve Bull in charge at the Championship club. His stats aren't fantastic by any means. He's got good determination at 14, but every other stat is pretty diabolical. 10 working with youngsters, 8 attacking, but I can't see him lasting that long at the helm. He may surprise me, I don't know. He's got the passion, of course, for the club, but this episode could be a pretty short one. Quickly go on to his history. Career stats here, of course, with Wolves. Look at the amount of goals he scored. I don't know how much it was in the end, but 37 this season, 34 the season before. Absolutely banging it for them. The only thing that is wrong with this at the moment, it says he was manager of Stafford for 7 years. I don't think he was at Stafford that long. I don't even think he was there for longer than a season, to be honest. He may have been there 1 or 2 years, but nothing longer than that, to be honest. But we're going to skip forward to the first season, and we'll see how we can do with this Wolves side here, who are pretty decent. They got a decent side, predicted 12th. Will Steve Bull do that? Will Steve Bull get them higher? Will he be sacked? Will he last the season? All questions that we want to see answered in this first season. He's part of the 4 legend. You've got Jack Hayward, who recently unfortunately passed away, who revived the club. He was an old chairman. Steve Bull, of course, as a player. Stan Cullis as a player and manager, who was fantastic. And Billy Wright as well, first ever player to get 100 international caps. So Steve Bull got a lot of reputation at stake here. Will he do well? Let's go and find out. So guys, the first season with Wolves under Steve Bull is now completed, so it's time to see how well they did. So as you can see, quite a lot of jobs are up for discussion. Wolves didn't get into the playoffs, as you can see there, and they finished 13th place. So if he was still in charge, it was very close to where their media predicted. 17 wins, but 17 losses, 12 draws, 63 points, and 9 points away from the playoffs, but quite comfortably away from relegation. So he is still in charge, which is pretty impressive. I had doubts whether he would last the season, but he has done, which isn't bad at all. Have his stats gone up considerably? Not really. Still obviously in charge. Still that one positive, no real negatives. And let's see what he did in charge of Wolves, what kind of movements he made. So starting off with the transfers. So this season he only brought in one transfer, paid 450k. It's Cave Vosser from Fulham. He's a defender right back, where Wolves didn't really feel they needed to improve on. Just one main out, and it was James Henry for 300k. He left and joined Leeds. So Steve Bull obviously deemed him surplus to requirements, and in other competitions, see how they did. So obviously in the Championship, they finished 12th. No, 13th. Media predicted 12th, so not too bad. FA Cup, they were knocked out in the 3rd round by Sheffield Wednesday. Ended up winning by Man City. Man United won the Capital One Cup, where Wolves also exited in the 3rd round. Player-wise, let's see how well they did. We looks like very much like the current Wolves squad. Not much changes this season. Best average rating was Jack Price, who played pretty regularly with 7.27 rating. Top goal scorer this season was Benik Fobi. No surprises with 13 goals. Most assists with Jack Price is 7, but Nathan Byrne ended up getting most man of the matches. He got 42 appearances. Not too sure where he was playing most. Be good to see if I could try and find that out. And maybe in those attacking positions as they got rid of James Henry. Trying to find out. There is a way to find out. I'm not 100% sure how to do it though, but that is where he was playing. Is it on reports, stats? I mean, the amount of crosses, passes he was getting, I'm guessing he was playing on the right wing. Pretty sure he's doing so. But Nathan Burns seemed to be one hell of a player for Wolves last season. But Steve Bull, I'm very surprised he's actually still in the job. But a very decent season. It'll be interesting to see how he can get on in the second season now in charge. See if he's going to make much more transfer movements and if Wolves can build on that mid-table finish. So second season now completed. Time to see how Steve Bull did at a second term in charge of Wolves. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into the Championship and see first of all where they finished. So they finished in playoff final. Wow, they lost 2-0 in the playoff final, which means they must have had a really decent season. Finished 5th. Is Steve Bull still in charge? He is. Wow, what a season. Did not expect that at all. Wow, finishing in the final of the playoffs and 5th in the Championship. I did not expect that from Steve Bull. He's studying for his Continental C licence. Stats again, nothing stands out. But what a season that is for Steve Bull. Never expected that at all. And now it's, who did he bring in? Did he bring in anyone big? Wow, he did a lot more business. Didn't spend much this season. Ben Garrett came in on a free transfer. Lewis McGugan from Sheffield Wednesday. Will Keane on a permanent deal as well. Nathan Ake from Chelsea. Harry Winks on loan from Spurs. Kelvin Wilson from Forest. Brad Smith from Liverpool. Jamie Mackey from QPR. And Sam Gallagher on loan. James Henry, of course, he left. Anyone else? Rajiv Van Lapira for 1.1. Sold Connor Cody for almost 6 million to Watford. Kay Vossa then left, and Bjorn Sigurdarsson went to Hanover for 1.2 million. Released a fair few players, to be fair. No one of real note. I mean, Liam McAlin and Zeli Ishmael, who I knew was in his first team. But competition-wise, how did they do? So obviously, wow, what a season. Playoff final against Fulham. They were immediately predicted 13th. Look how badly he started. He started picking up wins. It was an up and down season, but at the end of the season had a real push look and got in the playoffs. Semi-finals of the FA Cup. They went to Wembley and lost by the eventual winners Manchester City. And very impressive. And lost in the second round of the Capital One Cup against Shrewsbury Town. But jeez, what a season. I'm going to look at their schedule and see how well they actually did. So first of all, we'll look at the FA Cup, seeing as they did so well. Knocked out Manchester United in the 6th round. We'll start for the 3rd round. They beat Sheffield United 2-0, McGugan and Sigurdarsson. Drew to Burton, got taken to a replay where they won 2-1 at the Molineux. Beat Leeds away as well in the 5th round, and United at home in the 6th round. Phil Jones got an early red card, seemed to maybe cost them. Carlo Kimi actually got injured that game. And Man City lost 1-0, an early Jovetic goal at Wembley. Very impressive from Wolves there. In the Capital World Cup, they lost 2-1 to Shrewsbury in the 2nd round. And they beat Portsmouth 4-0 very emphatically in the 1st round. But in the Championship, first 2 games didn't go so well, but very good runs. I mean, from October down into November, a very shocking run. Didn't win in 6. It's slightly inconsistent, but end of the season had a real push here, not many losses at all. And unfortunately, they came from behind on aggregate to beat Cardiff. They lost in the playoff final 2-0. 2 very early goals from Fulham seem to have cost Wolves promotion to the Premier League. Average rating, Brad Smith got the best. He only played 13 games. So Jack Price with 57 games got a very strong average rating as well. Top goal scorer this season was Benik Fobi. Knew a Dicko back from injury. Maybe that was the catalyst to put Wolves towards the playoffs. Top assist, Jack Price again with 15. And player of the match is Jack Price there as well. So, very, very impressive season by Wolves. Now, we're going to push forward again onto the next season and see now how Wolves can do. Can they now push for promotion to the Premier League? Or was that just a one-off from Steve Bull's side? Let's find out. So, the 3rd season with Bully in charge at the Molineux. Is he still there? Has he got them promoted? Or has he even got into the playoffs again or had an even worse season. So we'll check out Steve Bull. He's a manager, and it looks like he may well have been sacked. And yes, he has. He's been sacked as manager of Wolves. So he was there for about 3 years. He was in charge now. Kike Flores, the current Watford manager, is in charge, and they finished 18th in the Championship. So what happened there? Let's go to the history of the managers. And Steve Bull was sacked after 2 years, 234 days in charge. The 20th of February, he was sacked as manager. He won 60 games, lost 54 and drew 31. So overall, not too sure what the percentage was there, but sacked there. Sean Parrish was caretaker for almost a month. He won 2, drew 1, lost 2, and Kike Flores hasn't come and done much better than what Steve Bull was doing, to be honest. And unfortunately, he's been sacked. So let's see, on the 20th of February, whereabouts were Wolves in the league when Steve Bull got sacked? So we'll check out the full league table. And we'll go on league table here. So 18th, they finished a comfortable 11 points away from relegation. But again, quite a way off any sort of playoffs or promotion. West Brom and Villa actually went up. So it's 2 of the Wolves' rivals. They finished 1 point ahead of Blues. But let's see where the past positions were. So we want to see Wolves here. So they actually started pretty well, look. On a good little run. Bouncing around the playoffs. And then it was about here. It started dipping. That was in October. It dipped down, all the way down. And by the time February came, let's see where he got sacked. Here, he lost to Brentford 1-0. And he got sacked after that game. They were 17th in the league. So they've actually finished below. I mean, Kike Flores hasn't done a huge job. Well, Sean Parrish was also there. Sean Parrish actually won his first game in charge. Drew then. Actually didn't lose in his first 3. But unfortunately, they've dropped dramatically. And I'm a bit surprised at that. Where were Wolves actually predicted to finish this season? 8th in the league. And it was a big ask. But how different could things have been if they went and won that playoff final under Steve Bull? Incredible, really, to think that they got in the playoff final last season. Unfortunately, he's now finally been sacked. He's gone a lot further, to be fair, than I expected. I thought he'd get sacked in the first 6 months to the first season. I didn't think he'd get past that. For him to keep his job after finishing mid-table, they got what the media predicted, which was fine. To push for playoffs is incredible. To get to the playoff final is even better. And I thought if they won that, how different could it have been for Steve Bull's career? But unfortunately, he's been sacked, and Wolves didn't do too well in the season. So overall, Steve Bull, this experiment has been a little bit of fun. Been interested to see, a manager with not great stats, how well he's done at the Championship team. He's done okay. If a manager did that in real life, that would probably keep him in steady shape to get a good League 2 or League 1 manager job, which isn't bad at all. But overall, that is the experiment finished, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Please do drop me a like down below if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And obviously suggest me an old loved player or manager at your club that I can use to be a manager in an experiment. So guys, hope you did enjoy this, and I'll catch you all next time.